Hello, Andy.
The first cut of the movie was like over 2 hours. It was really long. You put it before an audience and people just kind of want to get down to it.
I went in with a wonderful, wonderful editor by the name of Edward Shilka, who has since passed on, and we recut the film.
So then David started having me over to his house and showing me cuts of the film, sort of like, you know, asking my opinion. And it was really a great education for me, and I think a sort of big step in the process of my professional relationship with David, because I think he started to really value my opinion and my input at that time, and we continued to work together on all of these movies.
After we had done our cut, there was no time to test it again. So it was very frightening to release the film. There was going to be no premiere of any kind, and what I did was I rented out the Academy on Wilshire Boulevard. I took every box that had the good guy's image, and I had plastic versions of Chucky as well, and you had to walk through a tunnel of all of these dolls surrounding you, which was just kind of creepy without even knowing what the film is about, to get into the theater. And then I had all of the art from the film, my drawings, all these things that just made it look like, you know, oh, this was so important.
We began what became a tradition for all 5 films, where we would first stand in line, we would just sort of be incognito, as if we had nothing to do with the film, and you know, would say, hey, I hear this movie's really scary. You know, oh yeah, I hear it's scarier than Nightmare on Elm Street. Really? Wow. And people would start going, blah, blah, blah.
We would plant ourselves in the audience, and moments before a scary scene was going to come up, one of us would inevitably scream, and your timing would have to be perfect, because if you were off, you would just look like you're insane. And Don made fun of me for many years because I screamed something about a torso that was cut in half or something.
He went, oh my God, a torso! Like, I just remember torso.
What an odd thing to say.
But it helps, though, because it really creates a kind of ripple effect in the audience, where we would always be ground zero.
When the film was released, I remember it opened at Grauman's Chinese Theater, and it was exciting.
When Child's Play came out, my grandfather bought out one of the theaters by my house. It's the first time I saw it. It wasn't scary at all to me. You know, I knew everything about it. And I walked out of there, and everyone was cheering and making this big whole thing about it.
There was a real strong kind of public reaction to it. The movie is about some of our darkest nightmares as children. I don't think people were expecting to be that freaked out.
The media was beginning to pick up on this pint-sized little murderer and use his name in the course of current events. Just the fact that people were beginning to talk about it like that, it said to me that there really was something here.
It's definitely grown over the years. I mean, Chucky's an icon globally.
The fans for Child's Play and the fans for all horror movies are incredible. These horror conventions, the people that come out to it, they are so passionate about horror movies. I think the fans of the Child's Play series have been really supportive to me, and they really enjoyed my character in the first few films.
I do go to conventions every now and then, you know, and you know, I get little kids who, you know, are more curious about him and ask questions, you know, how he works and things like that.
I know people react to Chucky, but oddly, I've never felt like it was me. You know, unless I was like this rubber doll walking around, nobody's going to recognize me as Chucky.
It's exciting for me today when someone hears that I was so involved with the Chucky films, because I love hearing that frightened me to death as a child, and you don't know how many nightmares that gave me.
Chucky is a horror icon. I get the same reaction from people today as I did back then. You know, it's always either, oh, Chucky, you know, if they find out that I do Chucky, or it's, oh, that thing, oh my God, that thing just scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, you know, or whatever. I get that today, so it stood the test of time, you know. That little guy's really got a lot of mileage.
David and I think one of the reasons we initially bonded was that we both had this unabashed love of the horror genre, and we're not people who condescend to it. We really do love it, and we're incredibly thrilled and proud that this movie that we made 20 years ago and the character that we presented to the fans has really been embraced in such a big way.
What do you think?